There is a moment in life when silence becomes louder than words, no messages, no calls, no conversations, and yet she is still there in your thoughts, in your focus, in your emotions. Let's talk about something most people never understand. Because when someone stays in your mind without being in your life, it's not just attraction, it's not just habit, it's psychology. It's attachment that was never given closure. Now, listen carefully. The human mind is not designed to release what it has not understood. It keeps replaying moments, conversations, smiles, silence, trying to find meaning where there was none given. And that is where most people lose control. They start living more in imagination than reality. But here is the truth that changes everything. What stays in your mind is not always what is meant for your life. Sometimes it's not love. It's unfinished emotional business. Sometimes it's not connection. It's curiosity without clarity. And the more you feed it with thoughts, the stronger it grows inside you. But life rewards those who understand one principle: focus is power, direction is destiny. If your mind is constantly occupied with someone who is not actively part of your life, then you are giving your most valuable asset, your attention, to something that is not giving you growth in return. Now think deeper. Every great man or woman reaches a turning point where they ask, is this thought building my future or blocking it? Because emotional control is not about suppression, it is about direction. And here is where real strength begins: when you stop chasing mental images and start building real experiences. When you stop replaying silence and start creating progress. When you stop wondering about her thoughts and start mastering your own life. Because in the end, attraction is not something you force. It is something that aligns naturally when your life has value, purpose, and direction. So if she is always in your mind without any communication, don't panic. Understand it, observe it, and then redirect your energy. Because the strongest people are not those who never feel deeply. They are the ones who don't stay trapped in what they feel. And when you master that, you don't just get attention. You become the kind of person whose life speaks so loudly, Anna, that unnecessary thoughts lose their place completely. When someone stays in your mind without any communication, it is often not a sign of a real, ongoing connection, but rather a sign of unresolved emotional attachment. The human mind has a natural tendency to hold on to experiences that feel incomplete. When there is no closure, no clear ending, or no direct understanding of what something truly meant, the brain keeps revisiting it again and again in an attempt to find answers. From a psychological point of view, this happens because the mind dislikes uncertainty. It prefers clarity, even if that clarity is painful. So instead of letting go, it creates repeated mental images, memories, and imagined conversations. You start replaying moments, analyzing words, and searching for hidden meanings in situations that may not even require deeper interpretation. This is where confusion begins. What feels like emotional connection is often just mental repetition. The more attention you give to these thoughts, the stronger the mental pattern becomes. Slowly, it shifts from a simple memory into a habitual thought loop where the person becomes more present in your imagination than in your actual life. Understanding this difference is important for emotional growth. Not every thought that feels powerful is meaningful, and not every memory that returns deserves attention. Sometimes the mind is not guiding you toward love or connection. It is simply trying to resolve unfinished emotional data. True emotional maturity begins when you can recognize this pattern without becoming controlled by it. Instead of asking why you cannot stop thinking, the better question becomes whether these thoughts are based on reality or just unresolved imagination. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess, yet it is also the easiest to lose control of. Whatever you consistently focus on begins to shape your emotions, decisions, and eventually your direction in life. When your mind is occupied by thoughts that are not connected to your growth or real progress, you slowly drift away from your own potential without even realizing it. Many people underestimate how powerful mental focus truly is. Every thought you entertain repeatedly becomes a form of mental investment. If that investment is directed toward imagination, uncertainty, or things outside your control, then your energy is being consumed without producing any real return. Over time, this creates emotional fatigue, confusion, and a lack of clarity about your own goals. The real transformation begins when you consciously redirect that focus. Instead of allowing your mind to wander into situations that are not part of your present reality, you begin to anchor it in actions that build your future. This shift is not about ignoring feelings, it is about leading them in a productive direction. Emotions become powerful when they are guided, not when they are scattered. As you start investing your attention into learning, discipline, personal growth, and meaningful goals, something changes internally. Your mind becomes clearer, your confidence grows stronger, and your dependence on external validation starts to fade. You begin to feel more in control of your inner world. Ultimately, emotional strength is not measured by how little you feel, but by how wisely you choose where to place your focus. When your attention aligns with your purpose, distractions lose their power and your life naturally moves toward progress and stability. In conclusion, the thoughts that repeatedly occupy your mind are not always signs of destiny or deep connection. Many times, they are simply unresolved emotions seeking closure. Understanding this truth allows you to step back and observe your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. When you realize that not every feeling deserves your full attention, you begin to regain control over your inner world. At the same time, your attention determines the quality of your life. Whatever you consistently focus on will either strengthen your growth or slowly drain your energy. If your mind is invested in things beyond your control, you lose clarity and direction. But when you consciously redirect that same attention toward your goals, discipline, and personal development, your entire mindset begins to shift. True emotional maturity is not about avoiding feelings, but about managing them with wisdom. It is the ability to acknowledge thoughts without allowing them to dominate your actions. When you master this balance, you no longer live in confusion or imagination. You start living with purpose and intention. Ultimately, the moment you choose focus over fixation and reality over mental replay, you take back control of your life. And that is where real growth begins.